Hello, this is Dylan Miller on Daily Dose of Dylan, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, even if you're listening to me on Spreaker. Hello to you, and today I will be covering many topics. But up first here, the Eagles, here's a report I heard, and normally when you trade a quarterback that you've had for a bit, you normally have another person ready to back up that quarterback. So the Eagles traded Carson Wentz. And they have Jalen Hurts, who showed some flashes. I mean, we don't know what he is yet, but he showed some flashes. So you think that's who they're going for. They're all in on him. But they're not. There's a report that they won't commit to Hurts. Now, if this is true, the Eagles are a mess. I mean, you hired a coach that's like 38, and he butchered his first press conference. Now you traded Carson Wentz, and you can do that, just you should be committed to Hurts. And the real thing I wanted to talk about here is the real winner of this trade. Now, the real winner of this trade is obviously, I think the winner of this trade really is the Colts, but the NFL won this trade, because you don't want, you want great stars to be on great teams. You don't like AD on the Pelicans, you like AD on the Lakers. You don't like Beal on the Wizards, or like Trout on the Angels. You want to see them go to somewhere that people actually enjoy watching. Like, you want to see Beal, you want to see Bradley Beal go to, like the Nuggets or something, or Trout go to the Yankees or Padres, So this is a win for the NFL, because now half of the league has at least 30-1 odds to win the Super Bowl. Half of the league has 16 teams. Have 30-1 odds to win the Super Bowl. Kevin Garnett went from the Timberwolves, when no one cared about him, to the Celtics. We talked about KG constantly. Stafford went to the Rams after a decade of being wasted in, Detroit. We didn't like watching Barry Sanders get his career wasted, or Calvin Johnson wasting his career on the Lions. So these last 2 weeks have been a complete win for the NFL. For that trade there. So here's a report. The Wentz trade is not going to impact Darnold's value. Now, I didn't think it will, because I always thought the Bears or the football team was his best destination. But, I never thought he was going to the Colts. But, if you get Darnold, you hardly have to give up anyone. That's a good thing about this. Washington and the Bears should be on the phone this morning right now. They both have, because I know Sam Darnold hasn't proven himself yet. He's not a proven quarterback. But teams like the Bears and Washington, they don't need a talented quarterback like a Josh Allen to win the Super Bowl. The Bears, they have Allen Robinson. They have David Montgomery. They have a pretty good offensive line. They just got to draft, one, I think, a left guard. I don't really know. They got to do something on the offensive line, but not that much. And then they have a Super Bowl level defense, and I like Matt Nagy as a coach. He, was the coach of the year not too long ago. And then Washington might even be a better place. Antonio Gibson, 11 touchdowns this year. Terry McLaurin, top 10, 15 receiver. And a Super Bowl winning defense and a winning head coach. So here's the thing. I haven't heard anything about Darnold being traded yet. We heard about Wentz getting traded in Stafford a couple days before it happened. Now, and Darnold shouldn't be getting traded. I mean, when you really look at his talent, he shouldn't be getting traded. Because I think he is a pretty good quarterback. And the Jets don't really need to trade him. But, I feel like Darnold's first 3 years have been such a big mess. He just wants a fresh start. That's what I feel like. But teams should at least be calling the Jets right now. Like, they should at least be attempting to get him. I mean, Houston came out and said, oh, we're not trading Deshaun Watson. But teams are still calling for him. Because, why not? I mean, you should at least try to get him. Because if they just need an upgrade at quarterback. Sam Darnold's an upgrade from Mitch Trubisky or an Alex Smith. I mean, Alex Smith's story is great, but Darnold is more talented than Alex Smith and younger as well. So, all right. So I think Derek Carr is the most underappreciated player in the league. I think he's a top 10 quarterback. I don't really have a top 10 list, but I'd say he's right at number 10. But so I've always thought the best Chris Bowler is the best GM in the league for the Colts. They never had the most talented roster, but they had the best GM. He drafts very well. So, the best GM in the league inquired about getting Derek Carr on his team. That's saying something to Derek Carr. About Derek Carr. And the Raiders said no, which is very smart because I think, Carr has completed 70% of his passes. He has an 100 passer rating. He has 48 touchdowns, 17 picks, and in the last 2 years. He's kind of the glue to the franchise. He's great. And Pro Football Focus had him top 10. So, and when you look at the Raiders, they were doing well before Thanksgiving, but post-Thanksgiving, everyone except for Derek Carr regressed. So he's a very underappreciated player. You gotta keep him there and build around him. He only has really Darren Waller as a weapon right now. And Josh Jacobs, I don't think he's that bad of a running back. I think he's pretty good. But Derek Carr, you look at the top 15 quarterbacks, think about people that are in there. I'd say Matt Ryan's probably 15. Mayfield, 14, 13, Murray, 12, Cousins, 11, probably, I don't know, 11's probably, Tannehill, 10, Stafford, 9, I don't know. It takes me a while to know this stuff, but I'll get a list to you definitely. I'm going to let's get some music going here in a second. All right, here we go. Oh crap, an ad. I hate ads here. There we go. Music, great. So Deshaun Watson Deshaun Watson's personnel coach, my bad, asks, he asked what it takes to get a quarterback traded. And honestly, I don't think it would be a complete loss for the other team, a complete loss for the Texans, if they trade him, because they do get picks, and they can get another quarterback. That's why, I don't think the Panthers will trade McCaffrey. What I'm saying is it would be a fair trade, because, you get to build around those guys. And, it doesn't have to be McCaffrey. Like, you could give up 3 firsts and, Teddy Bridgewater, and I'm sure they could take that. You get a quarterback and some picks. Like, that would be ideal. I don't think it would be McCaffrey. I think that's too much. But I'd say Teddy and 3 firsts, that wouldn't be a terrible deal for the Texans. And Bridgewater's only 28. It's not like he's old. So, I mean, I don't think it would be a complete loss for them. So Mike Evans says Brady went above and beyond to prepare for the Super Bowl. And I mean, Big Ben is more talented than Brady. That there's no debating that he's more talented. But he's not as committed as Brady during the offseason. He doesn't do film study or commit in the offseason, you know. So I saw Tony Gonzalez on The Herd, and he said, he was asked, how many players do you know that go all in? Like, keep their body in shape so well, and just commit, like, you know, kind of like it's their last year. Like, they commit like it's their last year in the league. He said 3%. So that's crazy. And Brady's definitely one of those 3%, I can tell you that much. And there's really no secret. I mean, you just eat well, work out, take care of yourself. That's how you stay. That's how you get where Brady is, and he's definitely the best at that. So last night the Nets beat the Lakers 109-98. The Nets are the most dominant offense, but they have no defense. They're definitely the most dominant offense in the league. I think the Nets are fun, not great. You know, you look at the Warriors. They were a very good offensive team, but, you know, Kevin Durant's a pretty good defender. Klay Thompson is a great defender. And, so, you know, they had defensive pieces that helped them win. You know, the Bulls with Michael Jordan, they had one of the best defenses ever. You know, that's why they were able to win. So the Nets are like, they're a fun team. They're not great. Nets. But they could be great. I mean, they have 3 top 5 offensive players. They just got to get defensive pieces around. And then if they get some defensive role players, then they are locked up. I mean, that's a force to be reckoned with. Alright, so, I'm kind of confused with the Pats right now. I'm very confused because I've said, like, oh, you know, there were opt-outs on the defensive side, you know. The offense has some opt-outs as well. Let's give Belichick one more year, give him a fair chance to adjust to a team without Brady when he's had him for so long. You know, it's different when you're a player. You can just go to a team. Brady went to a team that actually has a pretty good defense. Ndamukong Suh, Levante David's a great linebacker. Shaq Barrett's great. Jason Pierre-Paul was a Pro Bowler. You know, and Antoine Winfield was a good player too. You know, so like Brady was able to just jump to a team. I'm not saying, I mean, they were 7-9 without him. I'm not saying they're a contender without him, but he went to a team. I feel like he made a decent team better. You know, and we always said, like, I don't know how the Patriots do it. You know, they got no good receivers other than Edelman. They have no good offensive weapons. They have a great defense, though, and that's when we won the championships. And, I mean, I don't know. And, like, Belichick, he has to adjust to the same team without Brady. Like, if Belichick retired and Brady was left with just them, I don't know how he would do. So it's kind of a confusing thing here. But I heard the Pats had the Pats and Carson Wentz did not have mutual interest. So I feel like Robert Kraft should be a little concerned with the fact that 3 of the 6 defensive coaches are either Belichick or his kids. You know, and Robert Kraft should be a little concerned because Belichick has a history of holding grudges and being petty. Robert Kraft went over his head and traded Jimmy G. Instead of keeping him like Belichick said, he's like, keep this guy, he's good. We'll win with him when Brady's gone. And now Wentz said no. Stafford said no. I don't know what it is, but something feels